Here I am in Austin, Texas, but if you look around, this is just one park of many, and it's beautiful. And hey, what we got there? So let me introduce to you Neo-Tribal Nomads. This is Tim, and this is Marion. Really cool channel, so check it out. Again, Neo-Tribal Nomads. A lot of history and knife making. You know, I've noticed one thing is that a lot of people always give Tim credit for the knife making, but it's Tim and Marion. They both are involved in it together. It's something they both do, and that's available on Amazon.
Knife Making Unplugged.
They have been long-term, if you want to call it vanners or nomadics or whatever term you want to use. But I just say they've been living free, because you are free. And I don't mean financially free, I mean free of most life stresses other than the ones that most people forget about of being on the road. This is them, and they're going to both say hi to you and give you a nice warm smile.
Hey.
And they have a really cool channel I want you to check out. And I'm going to ask a couple questions, and that's why we're doing this, I guess. It's a beautiful park and a beautiful sunny day. Why do you enjoy this lifestyle?
Freedom for sure.
Not having to pay high rent for a junky apartment that has always got something wrong with it.
I have to totally agree on that, because when you're spending 80% of your work, including overtime, just to maintain a place to live for housing expenses. And when I was a kid going through high school, they said 25%. That's the only way you're going to get a house. And the economy has changed. And we're not on the West Coast or the East Coast, guys. This is Texas to Colorado. It's what, Midwest, but still to the west. Rents are cheap, is what I'm saying. Because I've been out in Connecticut, $1,800 a month. Portland, Oregon, $1,800 a month. Bam, bam, bam. And I couldn't imagine what the children or the kids that are going to school or just getting out of school. And that's probably why so many people have chosen this lifestyle just to start with. So you can have that control of what you do, all that effort you put into to put back in your pocket instead of making somebody else rich in an apartment complex. Parasites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big one right there.
Yeah.
You know, the van never has cockroaches, you know. Almost every cheap place we've ever lived, you know, have rented has had cockroaches. You know, you inherit them, you know, and you move in, they're there waiting for you.
I've had nice places that have had cockroaches. Yeah.
And van doesn't have anything. I mean, we get a occasional bug that flies in, you know, whatever, a flying insect, but you know, they just fly right back out. So yeah, that's nice about it. No bed bugs, no cockroaches, no silverfish, no you know, rodent problems. Or although I have heard of a few van dwellers get mice in their van, but we haven't had one yet.
I just came across one the other day that had
mice problems?
Closed because of mice problems.
Wow.
Yeah. Jumpers.
Wow. I guess you know, if you leave your van open and walk around camp and stuff, they might sneak in.
I do.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for that mouse though. I got a cat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But more on that, I guess, you know, the whole why we choose this, it's not just, you know, it's not just because we're saving money by not paying rent. It's what that entails, is because, you know, if you've got, you know, 2.5, 3 weeks of your paycheck going towards rent, it's not just the money, it's the enslavement of having that job. You know, it's more than just, you know, the money. It's the fact that you have to spend all your days working to make that money. So you have no time for anything else, you know, except for working for your rent. And so it's more than just money. It's that, you know, the stealing of time that landlords do. I guess I really haven't thought about that whole time thing that much, really. I always just thought about the money part of it. But now that we're talking about it and everything, it's probably more important than even the money that you've saved. If you've saved all that rent money and you can put it back into yourself, your van or whatever, it's something for you instead of making a landlord rich. But even more than that is the time. I mean, instead of that much money that you've saved, that much time of freedom that you've gained.
Put into yourself and your thoughts and your plans.
Where you're out in this, because that's another thing, is that I get to experience nature a lot more than I ever did before. When you're working, you don't get to do that. You don't see that hawk over there on the fence. You're busy working somewhere. You don't get to see all these. It's like the other night we were out here. We saw a ring-tailed cat. That's the first time I've ever seen one. And so I think the whole nature aspect of it is pretty cool. And I guess that's just simply because we're out and about more, and get to enjoy it instead of working for the man.
And you can change your environment. If you don't like your neighbors where you're parked, or the location, or the climate,
And
you can
speaking
just
of
drive
environment,
somewhere.
I was kind of thinking about this the other day about how if someone lives in a place for 20, 30, 40 years or whatever, a lot of times people in the community you'll start to hear about these cancers, cancers that are going on in that community or that area or something.
Like a hot spot or something?
Yeah, like hot spots of certain types of cancers and things. And I don't know, I kind of see it as, we don't stay in any one spot long enough for any of that to get us. So, I don't know if that's, has any bearing or anything, but it's kind of a thought that I was thinking of the other day about how we've moved around a lot.
So you don't accumulate long-term
exposure to any
toxins.
one environment,
Okay.
That's an extremely good point, because I used to live in Ledgeview, Wisconsin, which is kind of south of Green Bay, Wisconsin, a suburb outside of De Pere, Wisconsin, and we had the most toxic, a national toxic water, and they did not let us know about it right away, and everybody got postcards after we signed our lease that it was 5 times the state levels of radium, which is runoff from fertilizer from all the farming going on up there. Now, me and my partner at the time we loved hot, long showers, 20 minutes. So you're breathing the vapor in instead of drinking it, causing more quicker toxic damage to you. It causes arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and bone joint cancer and degradation of the joints, which I'm experiencing, and my partner that was 15 years younger than me is also experiencing. So that's a really good point, because then you're moving around and you don't have to stay forced in that area. Good point. And another thing is, a lot of people, some know, some don't know, is that they're building housing developments in neighborhoods over top of old dumps. Okay, well, that might not sound like too big of a deal, but in the olden days, what you put in the dumps, you're not allowed to put in dumps anymore. From paint to gases, toxins, weed killers, bug killers that now they put in our foods, of course, with GMOs, but still, the toxins they put in those soils, and now they just say, oh, there was never a landfill here, and they build a beautiful, where every house is $250,000 to $500,000 house right on top of these dump sites, and the children are out playing in the grasses or out at the park right on top where these toxic chemicals are, which has caused a lot of cancers and mental issues, skeletal issues, and a lot of nerve issues, which I suffer from. That's a lot of my anxiety comes, I believe, from that, and being exposed to MEK, which is methyl ethyl ketone, that we used to use in the plastics field. It melts plastics. It'll take plexiglass and and now you have to wear a respirator when you work with that stuff. We used to go through gallon pails.
We used to
daily.
pour it on our hands and clean up our hands with it.
Yeah.
And it gets all cold and weird feeling and tingly, but.
And then you know how thin it is. You could fill a shot glass with MEK and it'll evaporate in like a minute.
Yeah.
Officer? Officer? Yeah. Over here. Young man? Yes, sir. Good, how are you?
What's the matter?
Well, we got some cold
calls. I guess people were concerned about y'all possibly gonna be filming some children and stuff around here.
Are there children here? We're filming you and we're going to put you on YouTube, though.
That's fine. You good?
I know.
I'm already on there. You have y'all's IDs and you guys, gentlemen?
We don't need to present it, though, do we?
Well, I'm lawfully detaining y'all right now.
So more about this situation in an upcoming video.